Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into the CGT Game of the Week, week number 2. It is your commentary team, TalonMasterJ and Anthony. I am Same Hater, coach of the Savannah Sharpedos. We are coming to you live for CGT Week 2. It is the Immunity Idols versus the Helsinki High Dragons. And Anthony, this is a phenomenal matchup right now on the board, wouldn't you say, man?
Oh, for sure. We've got two very well-known, very top-tier coaches going head-to-head against each other. I don't think this is their first matchup, but it might be. I was looking a little bit into it before. I doubt this is their first matchup, but nonetheless, it's definitely bound to be a great battle.
Yeah, it's going to be a phenomenal battle in this one, ladies and gentlemen. And you see the matchups on screen. We have the Helsinki High Dragons on the left and the Immunity Idols on the right. We're going to break them down real quick, make our predictions, and then we are going to get into the battle as we did. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with the Helsinki High Dragons. Last week, the Helsinki High Dragons managed to win their first game, if I remember correctly on the screen. Actually, I think they did. I think they won their first game. Pulling it up. No, actually they lost to the Chernobyl Dragalges in the first week last year, which is honestly really insane. I mean, because Bruno is a really, really good competitor. And looking at his team, I mean, Later's Therian, very good threat. The Gudra is bulky. Metagross, I mean, hey, any steel type, Anthony. Steel types are my thing.
Yeah, they definitely are. I definitely like Vestas' team a lot. I feel like it's a really good matchup in this case, just with first off, I can see Landers being pretty strong here. The only issue, of course, would be Rillaboom, but I wouldn't be surprised if that Gudra would be Sap Sipper this time around, just because I feel like nothing else is really gonna touch it on that team aside from Weavile and Latias. I think it's good in this matchup. They don't necessarily need Earthquake, but a good solid ground type move should deal with the majority of this team. Plus, they're all pretty heavy hitters, and the other side doesn't necessarily have a whole lot of physical defense on their team.
Yeah, as we're getting into that with the Immunity Idols, last week they played the Sacramento Sandslash. Mountay did. That was a very funny battle. I'll say it straight up. I watched it on Mountay's channel. Apologies to Pat Mac, but it was a 6-0. And that Weavile just went into town. We didn't even get to see Mountay's MVP of last year, the Blastoise in YCL. We didn't even get to see Cash Money make an appearance. And sadly, he could not get the boss, his Landorus Incarnate, but he has a very, very physical attacking team. And the Arcanine, I mean, Blastoise can be a double. The Doublade is a physical attacker. Hitmonlee is really physical. Rillaboom and Weavile. And here's a real shocker that I don't think many people know about. Nidoqueen is actually a physical attacker as opposed to a special attacker. Did you know that, Anthony?
In terms of stats, yes, it is. There are good reasons why I think it's more run special. Just for sheer force purposes, it's got a slightly better special move pool. Just the same thing with Nidoking. With Nidoking, is higher damaging attacks lean more towards the special side, which is why more people run it special than physical. But they definitely have those options for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it, I mean, there's counters on every side. I mean, we forgot to mention up like hazards and whatnot. On Bepsis' side, he's got Landorus, Necrozma, Metagross, Weezing, I think, gets Toxic Spikes, if I'm not mistaken. He's got removal, and I mean, Talonflame is there, so, you know, gotta support, show some support for my mascot and whatnot. But I mean, there's a lot of good bulk on both sides, a lot of hard hitters, a lot of setup mons. This one, I think, actually could go down to the wire, Anthony.
Oh, for sure. If both players play as well as I think they're going to play, this could easily be a 1-0 as a finish.
It most likely could. I will predict what I think comes for the Helsinki High Dragons. On this matchup, I see Lander Asterion. I see Primarina, because Primarina has a very good matchup against the Arcanine, the Diancie, Latias, Nidoqueen, and Hitmonlee. I see the Necrozma coming. I'm going to say the Metagross comes. The Scrafty comes. And I'm going to say Serena comes. I'm going to say that. So Lando, Prim, Necrozma, Metagross, Scrafty, and Serena are my picks.
That's pretty solid. For me, I was gonna say probably Lando, Gudra, Prim, Metagross, and I want to say Serena and probably Weezing, I think.
Okay, I do like that. And then on the Immunity Idols side, on Mounte's side, and Mounte, I already know how strong of a battler he is. I battled him once before. I barely lost to him, but I got fortunate on a lot of it. I'm going to say Blastoise comes, Diancie comes, Doublade comes, Hitmonlee comes, Rillaboom comes, and Latias comes.
I'm gonna shoot for Blastoise again. You know, Blastoise, like you said. Definitely Weavile and Hitmonlee. Rillaboom, I believe, should probably come as well. And for my last one, I'm gonna go ahead and I think I'll go with DNC. I think I said DNC already.
I think you did.
Okay, so.
And just for the heck of it, we're going to do a question of the day for the CGT audience, ladies and gentlemen. You guys see the matchup on there, but if one of these Pokemon, outside of Gudra, because we know Gudra has a regional variant in Hisui, which of these Pokemon deserves a redesign, a new form, or a type change? Let us know in the comments below, but we are going to get into the battle right now. Alright, so we see the Scrafty, the Talonflame, Lando, Necrozma, Metagross, and Prim. So I got 5 of the 6 right. I didn't think you'd bring Talonflame.
Yeah, that's actually, you did pretty good on that. I don't think I kind of maybe saw Talonflame coming, but I didn't really want to say it because I just didn't think it had the best matchup, but I can understand why it's here. As for the other side, Rotom Fan is interesting to me, and I don't think he needed the Latias, but I guess it could be, honestly, yeah, I don't really think he needed the Latias in this particular matchup. I don't think it does very well, but we'll see what he does with it.
Yeah, I mean, like, when I'm looking at it, I feel like the reason that he brought Rotom might be as his defogger. And we can see Talonflame with the heavy-duty boots that it is undoubtedly Vepsis' defogger in a sense. But I just didn't think Rotom Fan was a favorable matchup in this game. So that's why I'm actually surprised that it's on Mounte's team.
I'm not too surprised. It does get Shadow Ball. It can Volt Switch. We didn't even mention this, but that Primarina is holding a Rocky helmet, so I'm very interested to see how that goes. Because Primarina is not exactly the Pokemon known for its physical bulk compared to the rest of what he had available on his team. So I'm really curious to see how that Prim works out.
As we see Cash Money, Mountain's lead. The Blastoise makes an appearance against the Lando Therian. So right off rip, Mountay technically has an advantage there. And no white
This could be a free shell smash.
No white herb too.
There's no, I don't see, I don't see the earthquake happening. It could happen, but okay, so he does go for earthquake. Super risky, but he is going to get some decent damage off.
Just
a little bit less than half.
As we see a
flip turn.
At -1, so doesn't do a lot of damage there.
Just good for Vepsis, but honestly, I'm seeing Blastoise as definitely more of a defensive Pokemon, considering it didn't take that much damage from the earthquake. Weavile, I'm expecting this, hard switch. I don't know if I would have gone with a Prim because Weavile does get Poison Jab, but I wouldn't be surprised if it just didn't have it and probably went for something simple like Knockoff.
Which makes sense. I mean, because Weavile with Triple Axle. I mean, Triple Axle is already enough of a broken move, but Weavile with it, it's just insane. But we see the Prim come out, and the Weavile is Focus Punch.
Okay. So I'm wondering what he was expecting to come in there, because Lando nor Prim are going to take a whole lot of damage from that. As we see, the Rocky Helmet comes to effect right away. He knows he can only do so much keeping Weavile out of here.
I mean, that is a very, weird play, if I had to be fully honest, because Weavile with Focus Punch, I don't think I've ever seen that before.
I think it would have at least subbed first.
Something like that. I mean, normally, if you're gonna do like a move with negative priority like that, you don't either you sub or you protect. Or in doubles, I mean, you have the follow me strategy, which sometimes works. That's what spread moves are for.
I'm thinking he switches out. Maybe he doesn't want to take a Scald or a potential Scald or just a straight up Moonblast. The Stig should definitely be backing out here, but I don't know what Mountay wants to do with this. So I guess we'll see. Yep, there's a switch out.
Into Rillaboom. As we see the Grassy Surge activate. Grass Critter cover the battlefield. Flip turn comes out on the Rillaboom. It eats that up.
Now I'm gonna assume. I would have assumed Lando. I probably would have went Talonflame here, just because he's got the priority in Gale Wings and he can, U-turn out if he needs to. Metagross also isn't necessarily a bad option here because it does look like he's got the screens with the Light Clay.
As we see the Intimidate come out on the Lando. And Rillaboom is back to full health with leftovers recovered. Alright, so now what could Vepsis do here? And also what would Mountay do? Because now, even with the Grassy Surge, Rillaboom's not going to be doing much damage here. Got a little bit of
I wouldn't be so sure about that. I still feel like Grassy Surge could put it pretty close to knockout range if it doesn't just straight up take it out, even at -1. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he just, drops the hammer on him and just takes the thing out now. Oh, Leech Seed.
And it missed. That is super unfortunate for Mountay.
So this allows Vespis to switch out if he wants to. Or he could just blow himself up. Oh, there he goes.
And we see the explosion. How much damage is this going to do?
Oh, this is going to take it out. If not, take it right to the red. Yep.
Wow, it tried to take it down, but unfortunately, no dice on that, which is unfortunate. Now, this was Generation 4, I think, was the last generation, right? That Explosion have the defense step, right?
Yes. Still, I don't necessarily... Honestly, I don't like the Explosion. I like the Explosion play, but I don't. Only because I feel like he could have still used Earthquake later on in the battle if he was able to get Rillaboom down with something else. So, I'm really interested to see what happens next. I know he's probably going to switch out. They're both probably going to, he's going to switch out, and then he's going to go for Ear's U-turn. But I really feel like he could have saved Landers for just a little bit later.
I agree on that, as we see Mountay make the switch out back into the Blastoise.
Blastoise going to take a little bit more damage from the rocks and the U-turn. But it shouldn't be too much of a problem. This is taking its, it's taking its hits.
And Blastoise
But if you're going to be bulky like this, you might as well have Rocky Helmet. Now I can see Serena coming back in.
Leave it to Mountay and Vepsis, the two bulky water types, to have the Rocky Helmet item. It's almost like Mountay got off of Pokemon United, was playing Blastoise in the Fireman's outfit. As we see the Necrozma come out here.
What does Necrozma do in this situation? Or what does Blastoise, I should say, do in this situation?
I mean, Necrozma... I think it gets Charge Beam, doesn't it?
It does, but it wouldn't use it here. It looks like, from the peak that we're peeking at, it looks like this Necrozma is physical, which is interesting. Blastoise, I'm assuming, is probably just going to flip turn again. And seeing the Sword Stance makes me think that this Necrozma is a little bit closer towards the bulky side, as we see the Haze.
Oh, talk about some tech there from Mountay. And also, I'm just now learning that Blastoise gets Haze.
It does. It's, I believe, a Gen 1 or Gen 2 transfer move.
Which makes sense.
But it might also just be one of those ones that it just got over time.
It was definitely something. As you see the Rapid Spin come out, the rocks are disappeared with the Blastoise being faster than the Necrozma, most likely, I'd assume.
I definitely think Haze comes back out here. Yep, there it is. Photon guys are still probably going to do a lot of stuff, but I don't see it killing or anything. Or maybe so close.
Now the question is, I believe Blastoise just always runs Torrent, so he could get a very powerful, or not.
Is that a speed tie?
That might have been.
That's interesting.
Meanwhile, the Necrozma picks up the KO there, so I believe it's now 5-5. So both sides are down a Pokemon.
That is correct. With the Haze gone, Rapid Spin's gone, but Stealth Rock is also gone, so don't have to worry about the hazards anymore.
That's big. No hazards is a big win for Mountay's side. But it also kind of makes the fan Rotom a little obsolete now.
Yes and no. It's still, it's still versatile. Still got its Volt Switch, and now he doesn't have a Volt Switch resist, so that's free to just use whenever he wants to.
Understand where the Rillaboom comes out again.
So I definitely think Rillaboom clicks Grassy Glide this time, but again, it didn't really look like the most offensive Rillaboom. So I'm real curious. I think he knows that it probably doesn't kill, and X's are definitely kills right here in this situation. So I'm willing to bet that this thing lives a grassy glide. Oh, knockoff. Probably lives this too.
Yeah,
oh, easily.
Prism Armor is a great ability. It pretty much guarantees that Necrozma will take at least one super effective hit outside of like +6 with a crit.
Necrozma, I think, is one of those Pokemon that's like really, really underrated. And everybody also knows it's good at the same time.
I definitely agree with that. Because Necrozma, I mean, people don't realize that, I mean, it could be a support mon, it could be a physical attacker like we see here, it could be a special attacker, run weakness policy. We see the Weavile come back out here. Now, the Necrozma does not have its item anymore, so outside of a Night Slash from the Weavile, I don't think Weavile can KO Necrozma from this range.
I guess it depends on how bulky the Necrozma is, but I wouldn't put it past him if he could with a really strong Icicle Crash. I think Scrafty's a good play here. Primarina's also a good play here. But I feel like this Weavile wouldn't have something to cover, you know, its weaknesses. Okay, so there's a knockoff. So bye-bye Rocky Helmet while still taking Rocky Helmet damage.
Which, in all fairness, is probably a fair trade. I mean, I think most players would agree. If you can knock off the helmet, it's worth a little bit of chip to get rid of that in case you had a multi-strike physical move like a triple axe or a I think its counterpart is rolling kick or tail slap or something like that.
I'm wondering why he doesn't go straight for the Moonblast. And I don't think Flip Turn's bad. Of course, it always allows you to maintain momentum, especially when you're slower, like Primarina is compared to Weavile. But I would think in this case, maybe you could just go for a little bit extra damage. He doesn't really have too much left to resist a Moonblast. So I still think, I mean, either move is safe. Flip Turn and Moonblast are both safe moves. But in my case, I would just go ahead and hit Moonblast here. But I get it. Definitely good to maintain momentum because you don't think the Weavile is switching in or staying in.
Yeah, I agree with that play. As the Weavile switches out into the Latias.
See, there's the Moonblast. It would have been a really, but that could also trigger weakness policy Latias too.
And I've used a weakness policy Latias before. That thing hits like a truck.
Now I'm wondering what this Latias set is because it's probably not defog, so I'm gonna assume it's either weakness policy or maybe agility or maybe it's just coverage and it just has 4 moves. Maybe it's Life Orb. I know last week we saw Baton Pass Latios, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Baton Pass Latios here too.
I wouldn't be surprised either here. I also wouldn't be surprised if a Shadow Ball or maybe a Mystical Fire, thinking that the Metagross, I mean, even though Metagross is predominantly a physical attacker, it does have a little bit of a niche with some special attacks.
Yeah, Metagross could be explored a little bit more on the special side, but I think its physical side is so dominant, and there is the Mystical Fire.
Which takes 100 damage even as we see the light screen come out.
Now that should allow it to live another Mystical Fire, but at the same time right here I could easily go into Scrafty and just maybe get things going, or he can just go for Meteor Mash and go for the damage knowing that he probably lives another hit.
Yeah, I'm actually wondering what Vepsis would be doing right here. I mean, he could just go for the dual screens. I mean, we saw the light clay items, so
I'm really hoping he doesn't blow himself up because Metagross does not KO Latios at this range. So I'm hoping he doesn't click that explosion. If he does go for a reflect, that's fine. But I still wish he would have gone for the meteor mash just to get damage on whatever's coming in.
And there's the Nido Queen as the reflect comes out.
Well, now that I say that, I realize meteor mash wouldn't have done that much.
Now, I'm not sure a sheer force life orb Nido Queen. This could probably be a roll through the screen to KO. As we see Toxic Spike.
That's kind of risky. I admire the bold move, but that's risky.
And the Metagross.
There's another explosion. But does it kill? Does it kill max HP? Ooh, annihilated.
That is insane on the Metagross.
That was a big pickup. Landers couldn't do it, but Metagross definitely got it done.
Yeah. I mean, that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Like one Pokemon, I mean, but if I'm remembering correctly, I think Metagross actually has a higher base physical attack, but still, I mean, Landers getting it or Metagross getting it, it's still an impressive tech. I mean, you don't really think of seeing double explosions. The only thing we're missing is Talonflame deciding to blow itself up.
Yeah, that's what. Oh, you would think Kamikaze Bird has some way to blow itself up. So this is gonna suck here because he's gonna instantly lose his Lumberry, which means he can be burned if this Rotom does have Will-O-Wisp. And he does not have Shed Skin on the screen. It showed Moxie, so this could be really risky if he decides to stay in and go for this Dragon Dance.
It honestly makes you wonder what that Rotom's set is.
I'm willing to bet it's Willow, Volt Switch, and maybe Air Slash and a fourth move, whatever that fourth move is.
I'm willing to
It could be Defog too.
Nasty Plot.
Oh, okay, that's actually kind of scary.
We got a setup here. Now, I'm not sure if a +2 Nasty Plot can KO a Scrappy, because Scrappy is very specially defensive. You wouldn't think it, but
it's bulky. It's bulky, but if this Scrappy is not bulky, it's going to be taken down or very close to being down with a +2 Rotom sitting in its face.
A +1 knockoff.
It's pretty close.
Leftovers. Here's the Air Slash. And it lives.
Oh wow, that's great. That means he definitely at least had a little bit of special defense investment. But that Dragon Dance puts him in a very good position now. He can just take out this Rotom. He does have the advantage here.
Does have the advantage here. You can just get a free knockoff on anything at this point.
I wonder how Malte brings this back, because right now it's not looking too great. Now I will say this, all of Vespis's Pokemon have taken a pretty significant amount of damage. So this could just come down to, playing the waiting game. But I don't know. Moxie's looking real good right now. Vespis's team is looking really good right now.
And a +2 on attack, a +1 on speed. I'm not sure a max Scrappy. I don't think it actually outspeeds.
I don't think it outspeeds Latias. Well, it might. But I don't know. I don't think it outspeeds Latias, but it outsped Rotom. But, Latias and Rotom are 2 different tiers. So it could outspeed this Latias, but I wouldn't be surprised if Latias is able to take this thing out with something.
I would think just hit it with an Aura Sphere. Or drop a Draco. And we also see that the Scrappy was not faster after the Dragon Dance, so that's kind of unfortunate for Vexus' side.
It's a solid trade though. Scrafty gets a kill. Latios comes in and gets the revenge kill. Now here comes Dies a lot, the Primarina. Hopefully able to scare this thing out. Here comes the Moonblast. I don't think Moonblast kills at this range. And if it doesn't kill, the Latios definitely should be able to take this thing out if he doesn't switch out, because he is at -2 special attack.
And also, the screens are still up.
Oh yeah, that's right. The screens are still up.
As the Weavile comes back in.
Weavile getting sacrificed for the cause.
And as Mountay would normally do, he would salute the stick.
Came here for a good time, not a long time. But this poison damage is going to rack up soon. Light screen is also gone, which means Latios can come right back in and get this kill on Primarina.
With what I'm assuming would be Energy Ball. I think that'd be the coverage for... Because we saw Mystical Fire and we saw Draco Meteor, so I would assume Energy Ball... No,
Thunderbolt.
Okay, now that makes sense because of the Talonflame. That makes sense. You have coverage for the Talonflame.
Mm-hmm.
So
both screens are gone. They can't be put back up. So in comes the Necrozma. This battle's turned around. This battle went from one side to being pretty even. It could literally go any way.
And also, because the Necrozma's Lungberry was knocked off, there is no way for it to get rid of the poison, so it will be taking ship here. Another Thunderbolt.
Thunderbolt on the Necrozma. It should live this. Oh yeah, real easily. Knockoff, I don't think kills, but it's probably close. That did a lot of damage.
Scarf Lock?
Ooh.
Ooh.
So that's why he switched out. It wasn't because of the Draco. It's because he didn't have a choice. He's still faster though, so he definitely died to another Thunderbolt here.
Well, technically, he did have a choice. He did have a choice.
Well, yeah. I mean, who do you want to get Thunderbolted first?
As we see Ernesto come out.
Now, unfortunately, something's got to give here. And I think we know where this is going to go.
I think so. Ernesto used Brave Bird.
See, I like Brave Bird, but taking the extra chip, even if it's only like 15 damage, is like, or 2 damage, it could mean a roll. It could have meant a roll.
Yep.
He was guaranteed to win, but I still would have went for U-turn. You want to keep that HP up as high as you can, even if it's over.
I agree with that entirely, man. But that was a really, really good game, if I had to say so. I mean,
oh yeah, it definitely was.
1-0s are always the craziest, to say the least, about what can happen on them. But to see Latios, I mean, I understand the Scarf now, looking at the speed tiers. 110 to ensure you can outspeed Talonflame outside of Gale Wings, and most likely KO with Thunderbolt, because Talonflame is not bulky.
Not at all. I'm a little surprised with the Scarf Latios. I am also surprised that Talonflame lasted the entire battle. But it came in clutch. He knew his win condition. He knew he had to keep Talonflame alive to deal with the Latios. And I honestly, if he wasn't able to get that knockoff off, I think that this battle definitely would have gone the other way.
I agree with that. And also, leave it to Vepsis. The one time a Falcon will actually be moderately happy between now and February.
We didn't even have to go there.
Sorry, I had to, but I got thoughts on that, which are separate to this. But ladies and gentlemen, you guys just saw a phenomenal game between Mountay and Vepsis. Their links will be in the description below. You can follow my co-host Anthony at...
Let's see. Twitter would be twitter.com/IamSimonHotter, and YouTube is going to be Sharpie Plays.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter at JoeCarlino14 and follow my YouTube and Twitch channels at TalonMasterJ. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you guys for Week 3 CGT Game of the Week. And let us know your answers to the question of the day in the comment section down below. And as always, continue being champions, ladies and gentlemen.